criticized at every level, then wonder why they worsen. I don't want to be the person writing this book. Don't want to be chewed up by despair so unremitting the only conceivable response is to write it, but I am. I write this because I need both life vest and anchor, because I need both to scream and to arm myself in the dark. Maybe you need to scream, to arm yourself, too. Part 1. In the first person. 1. Cataclysm. What scares me most is what I don't remember. And that's everything, between scarfing sleeping pills on a Sunday night to waking fuzzily in the ICU days later, Velcro ties strapping my wrists and forearms to cold metal railings ringing the bed, keeping my erratic, sedated writhing from disconnecting a maze of IVs plugged into my arteries. I discovered I was wearing a hospital gown and attached to a catheter. The latter, especially, not something you want to take you by surprise. I was shocked when I surfaced at how much time had passed. I've no recollection of the hours on dialysis, just the lasting image of a churning strawberry red slushy machine, which is how my dad described the life-saving contraption days later. I don't remember drinking antifreeze. Don't recall if it tasted acrid or cloying, its texture watery or viscous. The arresting electric blue I do recall vividly from staring at the family-sized jug sitting under the sink every time I used the bathroom in the months after I bought it. I've never owned a car. I can't remember conversations I had in the 12-odd hours between the handful of Zopiclone and the liter of antifreeze, but my text messages and call history betray me. I'd offered, in a near blackout state, to rush out and cover a story that mercifully was taken on by someone else. When I asked about this later, the coworker who called said I just sounded groggy. No kidding. I can't remember being found in my apartment, overdosed on antifreeze, by 2 senior editors at the Globe and Mail, the newspaper where I worked at the time. Mortification overwhelms me each time I imagine the scene, and I still wish I'd died rather than be found that way. That, in September 2011, was my first suicide attempt, my first post-attempt hospitalization, and my entry point into a labyrinthine psychiatric care system via the trapdoor of botched self-obliteration. For me, it was an inexorable resolution, the only possible culmination of a conviction I'd had for months but kept putting off. I was 24, and I'd just come off a pair of great assignments working as a staff reporter at my dream newspaper, but the preceding 18-odd months had been characterized by worsening, lengthening episodes of despair, during which all I wanted was to die. For a while, I could still immerse myself in my work, could still get that reporter's high, that bright, weightless bubble filling my diaphragm as I chased a story, could still convince myself, in giddy interludes, that my life had purpose. But those interludes of story-chasing joy became spotty and infrequent, a radio signal subsumed by static. The bilious taste of failure swallowed everything. That late September Friday, 2 days before the attempt, I put the final edits into a political feature as sheets of rain thrummed against the wall-wide newsroom window. The nadir that in recent months had begun to engulf me at the end of every story's high was, this time, too deep to clamber out of. I felt scraped empty, nothing left and nowhere else to go. I met family visiting from out of town for dinner that night at a fancy, poorly lit restaurant where, if you drink enough silky cold gin, you don't notice how little actual food is exquisitely plated in front of you. I vaguely recall acting stupid sentimental, but not much else. Stopping at the downtown Toronto office to pick up some things on my way home, I did what later felt like the first dumb thing. An acquaintance. Someone I'd met once who had subsequently added me on Facebook and with whom I'd exchanged muted messages.